Be quiet tonight. I'd appreciate it. We're going to talk about Hal Spencer, and I touched all of our hearts. Hal came to the band jam for 6 years, and he always sang with us, he played with us, he always had a smile on his face. And, you know, he was full of love. And so I know, look, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, first and foremost. Sometimes I may not act like it, but I am. And I know Hal was too.
Got a halo.
So I know he is embraced by the Lord right now, and he's got it a lot easier than us. We have to live down in this corrupt world and have to deal with all the shenanigans that we have to deal with. But we're going to miss him down here. Separation's difficult. It was even difficult for Jesus. He sweat blood in the garden when he had to separate from his disciples, but he knew where he was going. We're going to miss Hal and Deborah. For starters, we're going to donate some money, and we're going to ask everybody that's been to the band jam or who's here tonight if you could do the same. There's a GoFundMe account that David will talk about, and we're going to tee it up tonight. There's 3 or 4 of us that's going to give $1,000 to get this thing started. And I hope, you know, everybody's come here for 6 years and you haven't spent a dime. So maybe this is the time to contribute, okay? I mean, think about how many times you've been here, multiply by about $30, and think about how much you saved. David, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Hold on. Go ahead. I like that. All right. You know, the other night when Hal passed away, I got an email from Deborah. It was 2 in the morning, and I was kind of shocked too. You know what I mean? Because it had just happened. Now, they met in 1983, ladies and gentlemen. That was 35 years ago, back in L.A. Anybody ever lived in L.A.? I have. It's a big place. And they were acting in a play, and the play was called Student Prince. And guess who the prince was? Hal Spencer. Well, he became more than a student. And they've been, on May 31st, they would have celebrated 30 years of marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 years of marriage this May. Let's give her a hand. There's Deborah's here tonight. Now, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to read a little bit about what you said about it. Is that Hal was so excited when he found out about Band Jam several years ago and has enjoyed it so each month. David, thank you for making Hal feel very special. When you motioned him up to sing with you, he loved it. Actually, I wanted him to come make me sound good, and that's why I always brought him up. And this is what I wrote to her. This was about 3 in the morning. I said, "Dear Deborah, I am deeply saddened. I told Mary many times that Hal was one of the main reasons I enjoyed Band Jam. I was always disappointed when he was absent. No one else could sing harmony like Hal, and that's a fact. He could pick out any voice in any song and make me and others sound better. It was instinctive, and it was a joy to hear. I admired Hal's talent, and I respected his humanity. I do believe that Hal was touched by God. And you, Deborah, and all of us were blessed in his presence. Our heartfelt condolences. May God give you peace in this time." We love you, Deborah.
Amen.
Thank you. Now, we're family here. We're familia. Okay? And it's time for family to take care of each other. Right?
Yep.
Now we need to put some bread together. We need to help out, pay for some expenses. And I'm going to be the first one here. I got a $200 check here that I'm going to give to Deborah out of my pocket right here. And don't cash it for about 3 days. Gary owes me some money, and as soon as he gives it to me, I'm going to put it in the account. Hurry up, Gary.
Services rendered.
Now,
Yeah, we've already written a $400 check. David, why don't you write a $400 check then?
Gary's always trying to show me up. I went 200, he goes 400. Can anybody top Gary?
Come on, somebody.
Anyway, listen. There's a website called GoFundMe.com/Hal-Spencer. You go to that GoFundMe.com and you can make a donation to the GoFundMe.com. We need it. We need to take care of business, and we can't pay back the joy that Hal's given us, but we can make things a little bit easier for Hal and his family, and for Deborah and her family. So, Robert gave us a $100 bill. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna wait. You don't have to come up and do it right now if you don't want to. But I'm asking anybody that wants to come up and give us some money now. That's fine. If you don't have any cash on you, go to and you don't on the GoFundMe.com. You don't have to put your name on it. You can be anonymous. Now that's not a deductible expense unless you come to Gary to do your tax return. Then everything's deductible over here. But go to the website if you can't give it tonight, and you can give with a credit card or a debit card, or you can just give me some cash, like Marie Allen has done, and Cooper CPA Group, and Robert and myself. Judge Jay Carahan, our favorite judge of all time, has donated $200. His wife, Cynthia, has donated $200. So we've already got about $1,300 right now in my hand, ladies and gentlemen. So please, give it to us. I don't know if Deborah wants to come say anything or not. If you don't want to, we understand.
Come on, Deborah.
But if you want to come say something, Deborah, come say. And of course, the judge is playing Stairway to Heaven. And that's where Hal is right now, at the band jam in heaven. And that's where we're all going to meet up one day. Thank you, baby. All right.
Hal would be so embarrassed by this. Because one thing he was is a very modest man and a very funny man. And back in 1983, when I was cast in a play in Los Angeles, a musical called The Student Prince, we were a week in rehearsal, and the director came to me and said, "I hired your Captain Tarnitz, and you're just going to love him." And he was right. we fell in love in that production, and we dated, and then Hal got a job with Royal Viking Cruise Lines on a world tour as a featured singer. I mean, how could he not do that? So he was in rehearsals and on Royal Viking. He got to perform with so many incredible people, the Paige Cavanaugh Trio, and all these great musicians. And he got to do his own act as well as the production shows. And I would get calls from Bangkok at 3 in the morning, and I was in LA, and when he got back, we got married 2 months later. And it was just, we've always been, I guess what you would call starving artists, but boy have we had fun. I mean, Hal came to Houston, a boy from Rhode Island, where he still knows people he went to kindergarten with. And he comes to Houston when we moved back from California, and he decided, he wanted to be in directing, and he got 2 master's degrees in 5 years. He got an MA in music, voice performance, and then he got an MFA in directing and theater at University of Houston. He directed at Tuts. We both sang 4 years with Houston Grand Opera Corps. I sang 17 years with the Houston Symphony. And I got to do 17 Messiahs, the Beethoven Ninth. And then one time, Monty Python came to town. Eric Idle did. He's the Life of Brian. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. And we got to be Eric Idle's backup singers with coal miners' hats and you know, it's Hal came to everything I did, I came to everything he did, we got to do things together, but he was just my rock. He was so inspiring, such a great musician. He loved playing the blues harp, he was wonderful with it. I would often hear him in his room practicing for band jam, just deciding what he was going to do, and of course singing All Along the Watchtower with you, and the steady beat of Gary. He loved you guys. He found out about you in Entrepreneur magazine, and I said, Hal, go, you know, this is great, and he's loved it ever since. And thank you all so much, you know, because this means a lot to him and to me. Like, words can no longer express, but thank you so much.